Bukola now joins me as we take a look at some of the things you've been saying exactly on X. So, Bukola.
Yes, indeed. Hello again, Jeremy. Nigerians are talking about quite a lot today, and of course, the Ondo election, as you mentioned, is top on the list. And of course, Nigerians are also talking about that appointment by Mr. President, the series of appointments, really, but specifically the appointment of Mr. Daniel Bwala as the President's special advisor.
I know it's going to be the highlight.
On media and communications.
I'm sure he knows Nigerians will come for him, by the way. So Bwala is not new to such things. All right.
And he doesn't shy away from criticism at all. So, but let's start with the budget. Let's start with the appointment of Mr. Bwala as special advisor. And the President has also named 3 other DGs. Adamawal Lasbon is the first user, and he says, no doubt that you are very good at what you do. All the best, Dan.
Okay, I wish I could see them on screen. Napoleon says he's very good at public communication. This is well deserved. Those crying are pained that the better person is to handle the president's media communication. He has a lot of defending to do. Our job is asking those questions.
Yes, indeed.
It's an exciting time.
And Aminu Ida says, congratulations to Daniel Bwala. Nigeria is at war with economics reforms. Everyone should put aside their differences and fight that common enemy, which is poverty and raising costs of essential commodities we're faced with and the world at large.
This person calls himself or herself Peter Obi AOC, automated. Well, nothing surprises me anymore. It seems the administration has new motto: if you can't beat them, appoint them. As for Bwala, welcome to the other side, hopefully. Okay, Bwala, let's get straight to all that conversation that...
the Super Eagles match with the Cheetahs of Benin Republic yesterday.
Okay, let's talk about first the fact that Chief Anyonko, the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, he said it's time to do away with the 1999 Constitution. He said this a few days ago, but it's still trending. And it says, Lemmy is saying, that's good, but sir, how will that one change the mindset of people who lack patriotism? What about the corrupt individuals in the public sector whom the operations of this constitution is in their hands?
Good point there. And Mr. Humble says Nigeria needs massive and all-round reforms in constitution, defense, education, economy, and many other sectors.
When I see that name Humble, I had a friend called Humble. Okay, Fiadigo says it's not the constitution, but the custodians and administrators of the constitution.
That's relative, it's a subjective matter. Some believe that Nigeria cannot work with the current constitution, but if you say this is your position, it's taken. The advocate says the constitution is never the problem, rather the individuals that emerge as our leaders.
All right, the NNPCL, we'll move on from that, so we want to race as quickly as we can because of what we have to do today. Today on the program, NNPCL seals 10-year gas supply deal with Dangote Refinery, and Greg is saying all these agreements are fine. How does it benefit the common man? Is my concern. Will the price of gas come down? I like the way Nigeria summarized it. We don't care your English. We don't care about your agreements. We don't even care what you're saying. Whatever you do, when I step out to buy anything, I want to see a significant reduction in the price. Until that is done, Nigerians are not impressed.
African Unifier has just one line or a little more. Every day there will be an agreement, and yet nothing is working. That speaks to the trust quotient, yet again, between Nigerians and the appointed and elected.
All right, Johnson said we are no more excited about this news again. You have fallen our hands. Falling our hands in Nigeria means you've disappointed us. With the cost of fuel from your refinery, getting this gas approval too will never bring any cost reduction to the high cost of cooking gas for Nigerians. So disappointing.
And Bukasin says, for a country with abundant gas reserves, cooking gas shouldn't be this expensive. And indeed, the price of cooking gas has shot up to about 400 naira per
kg.
Per kg. So if you're filling 12.5, you're spending about 17,000 naira. I know I bought it at that amount.
I bought it for 16,000 or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to Nigeria. Okay, let's go to this one. It's a bit a solemn one. Yesterday when I saw the visuals, in fact, I couldn't watch it, part of it. I deliberately didn't follow up in certain parts. The Chief of Army Staff, former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tari Lagbaja, his body was flown from Lagos to Abuja yesterday. His service of song was held in his honor, and he will be laid to rest later today. He served the country from the front lines, and we thank him for his service, and we commiserate with the family at this very difficult time. But let's also hear what you're saying about our late chief. Comrade says, rest in peace, our amazing general.
And Truth Bassi speaking some hard truth. No one is getting out of life alive. This is a message to redress our nature. Our time here on earth is ephemeral. Sleep well, soldier.
Omar says, no power can overpower the angel of death. Rest in peace. Of course, your dedication to serving this country is well noticed.
And Chima says, may the souls of all those who died while trying to see a better Nigeria, including NSAS protesters, rest in peace.
All right, so again, our thoughts and our prayers are with the families who have to relive that moment yet again today in Abuja, when the Chief of Army Staff will be laid to rest eventually on his final journey. So our thoughts and our prayers are with the family as well as everyone who has been affected. Our country has lost a general, and so we're mourning. But hey, the show has to go on somehow. And this time we're going to invite, we want to talk about the Super Eagles, and there's only one person right now that can help us break down what happened yesterday. Literally, I was on the phone with her like, what is going on? These guys, they came like they want to bust everywhere. Cecilia Morigwe is our sports anchor and correspondent. She joins us right now. Cecilia, we're waiting for you. If you can come as quickly as possible.
Am I going to be in the middle, or where will I stay? Closer to you?
Stay
here.
You're
right.
so
that's cool.
You're alone on this particular one. So Cecilia, yesterday, by the way, Cecilia Morigwe, our sports anchor and correspondent. Cecilia, what happened?
Okay.
I'm happy we got our points to escape.
Yeah.
At least we're secured.
Let my people go.
But at about 20 minutes, especially when the goals came, I was almost confused. We're losing passes. These guys came like tiger. I was almost asking myself, did they
nickname cheaters?
Did they like his drop on our strategy? What happened? These guys played football. They're
coached by a former coach who spent 5 years with most of the players that were playing against him. So let's start from there. But I think when we talked about narrow escape, we already qualified even before we kicked the ball, because Libya were able to beat Rwanda away from home. So that actually put us in that spot. So we already qualified even before we started that game, because Libya game and Rwanda game were earlier. So we booked a spot already. We needed a draw to just qualify. But because of that loss already, that 10 points was guaranteed. So there was none of the teams in that group could have been able to catch up with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That aside, I think when you're playing against a side, if you Benin, we go beat them. That's how they went into the game. But the coach actually said before the game that they were not going to be complacent. They were going to go all out, do the best, achieve the objective, which was, of course, get all the points you need and qualify. And we back home were saying, Benin Republic, judging from what they did to us, back then in the World Cup qualifiers, we can easily just, beat them 4-0 to show our dominance and also tell.
I'm pointing in at
Cecilia, Nigerian Jollof must not underestimate Benin's outgoing being so. And yesterday I was talking about the Genot Raw factor, and Poja was all confident, bolstering, saying that as much as Genot Raw knows our playing tactics, that Egwavon also knows. But did that play out? Did you see it yesterday as Nigeria having studied, the style of Genot Raw as well, and reflecting on the field of play?
Yeah, I think it was, taking a look at the game, I think it was just the first 20 minutes that it was as if the Benin Republic were a bit dominant. But after that, Super Eagles took over. If you check overall performance of the team, we had 68 ball possession, compared to their own 42 and everything. So we had better ball possession than theirs. That alone tells you, okay, at the end of the day, we're talking about passes, we were better. Talking about shots, we're better. In terms of, statistics, possession and everything, we're better in that aspect. We had how many shots? About 3 shots at about 2 shots on target, then 5 in total. But they, the one they had, that was the first one they had. So if you're talking about dominance, it wasn't because Super Eagles didn't play well or anything. I think it was the way the Benin Republic, the way they started. And then beginning of second half, they were very aggressive, exactly. In the second half also, we saw them also, coming up with that boisterous performance again until the Super Eagles took over.
Okay. Okay, Cecilia, we're going to come to you yet again. Now, we're going to talk about Nwabali, what happened to him yesterday. But let's take a listen to what the coach had to say yesterday.
Coming to this game, we haven't lost a game. We wanted to maintain that and try to win the game here. Worst case scenario, draw. We want to qualify without losing the game. and we knew we are capable of. We have all the qualities. We have whatever it takes to beat anybody, any day, any time. Benin was a bit more under pressure, but we didn't look at that, having qualified, and we'll come back here and lie down. No. Nigeria is a team that is respected. Almost won the AFCON last time, so we have to try to do what? Maintain that standard.
I want to congratulate our coach, our team for qualifying for the next AFCON. That was our objective. How many months ago now? 4 or 5 months ago when we started this campaign. We heard about it just before the kickoff. Our idea was always to try and win this game. We don't want to put on a showing that is not worthy of Nigeria. So today, I also have to give credit to Benin. I think they had a good game plan. I felt we were a little bit unlucky the moment they scored because the person we were missing at the front post was off the pitch on the other side, Victor Osimhen, and that's why they scored the set piece. So credit to them. We know they're a good threat from that. And from then on, we just want to continue to play well and try to win the game. So I think, like the coach said today, 1-1 was a fair result. Yeah, I would still like us when we play against Benin, but yeah, today was a fair result, and like I said, we're very happy to qualify and to remain unbeaten in this campaign.
Coming to this game, we haven't lost a game. I wanted to maintain that.
Yeah.
That's a guava right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have your reactions to some of the things he said.
Yeah. I mean, what I'll start up with what Trust Ekong said. I mean, the big deal is they've qualified for the tournament, which is more important than any other thing. But overall, you know, the way they set out to play was what Eguavoen needed to do, in the sense that you had your best players on the field of play. You started with Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen were there. I mean, these are the strongest strikers you can think of in Europe. Yes, Alex Iwobi didn't covered himself in glory because of some missed chances he had and everything. And then Junior Lighton happens to be the person who was more like the fulcrum of the Beninese, because he was everywhere. I mean, he ensured that his passes, his precision and everything was everywhere. And of course, that resulted to the goal scored by Mohamed Tijani, you know, that early minute. And for the coach, what was important is, let's play this game. Let's not lose this game. Let's get the maximum 3 points. But that wasn't to be. But coming back from behind, it's something I would actually credit the Super Eagles for. Because when you have a team who's not used to going behind and then coming back, it's always hard. But they were able to come back from behind and then get the desired result. So overall, I think what the coach, I agree with him most of the things he said. And the changes he made, people were thinking about why not take out some players early. Like Kelechi and people talked about him. So people talked about Alex Iwobi and some other players. He made those changes in the second half, and we saw what happened. Even when Victor Boniface come on later, usually he dresses the ball so much and everything, before, you know, the ball is taken out from his feet and all. But at the end of the day, the changes he made when he brought in Moses Simon in that second half, you know, after that
because we needed somebody to feed Osimhen.
Osimhen was that's massive. You know, I was trying to look for an adjective to actually describe that cross that he made right into the 18 yards box that Victor Osimhen, you know, he couldn't miss from that. He has missed one earlier that I thought it was a sitter. Like, I was thinking, I'm sure if he gets to watch that game again, you'll be wondering what really happened. Yes, it was marked out. You know, that also shows that, yes, the players needed that win, but somehow they got a drop from it.
God bless Osimhen for saving the day. Not be talking about
especially you, who were all out. 4 goals.
Okay, so Cecilia, what should we be seeing in our subsequent games, particularly with the lessons that we have learned from, you know, yesterday's match?
What should be seen? I think we should not allow our opponent to actually dominate us. I mean, especially from the get-go, just be with the ball. You can't allow those guys. Those guys, like, I was wondering what's going on. Like, what's happening?
It seems that that's always the approach at the beginning of every game for the Super Eagles, and then they now recover later on. Why shouldn't they start with that aggression as our opponents?
Yeah, I wouldn't use that always it. But we've seen Super Eagles starting so well, and they may not, you know, end up well. But we've seen games that they dominate from start to finish. But maybe this was just a one-off. Maybe the rain or something. I really don't know what. How to actually. Maybe the rain and not so. Yes, not so much at stake. Number one, and maybe number two. You know, if you check the timing, players came in like camp was open on Monday. Most players came in on Tuesday. We had a full squad on Tuesday. That was when they had their first training session. You're playing a game on a Thursday. You know, sometimes when you have those where players you have to travel from across the world to come together and just have 2 days in between before you play a game. Sometimes I do think that also contributes to to how the players start when they're playing games like that. But I'll watch what's going to happen in New York. Of course, now we know that they have like 3 days. The game was last night. I thought the game could have played earlier, but hey, it was at night. Maybe they're going to travel back this morning. And of course, they have today Friday, they have Saturday, Sunday, 2 full days. And of course, the match in New York is on a Monday. So hopefully we can see something different from that. I believe that they would have rested enough, because I saw a tweet by PoliticsToday when they talked about dinner in London, somewhere, just like that, how a full day, just keep moving, and then you're in camp, and then you have a game to play and everything.
So let's talk about 2 things as quickly as we can. So Osimhen missed a couple of chances. He was marked out.
Yes.
So we need to talk about when that happens again, because we needed an individual personal skill from people like Moses to be able to walk around, because Lookman struggled with it for a bit. Moses came and did the ice breaking and were able to get the goal. So we need to talk about when they put 2 men against our star boy Osimhen, and every hope is there on him. That's on 1. 2. What happened to Nwabali and the early morning bath?
I think I think if you check, I think Iwobi and PoliticsToday, I don't know if I should put the blame on them, because they missed their man, so to speak, and then they had the chance to head that ball in. Sometimes a header, it's hard for you to predict where it's going to. But I think he wasn't. I think he wasn't really focused, because Nwabali that we know, he's always alert, 24 hours, But it's as if that's little bit of lack of concentration that he had at that moment, and that's how the ball got, because he was right. It was truly through his angle that the ball gets into the net, and he raised that, but it was just the ball was faster than him, or so to speak. It wasn't alert enough. It happens to the very best of goalkeepers, really. Sometimes, I mean, you are allowed 1 or 2 lapses like that, but hey, I think that shouldn't happen in New York, because you're playing at home, the fans are there. You just want to be alert 24/7. It's reflexes.
You didn't talk about Osimhen.
Yeah. Okay.
What do we do with Osimhen?
What do we do with Osimhen? It's just like you ask, what do you do with Messi? Star players, they are usually marked out. We've seen there's some tournaments that Messi had played. Is Messi some games? You'll be asking, where is he? Is he in this game, or is somebody's else's pocket? So we've seen star players like that being marked out. So he's not left on the other player. That's what we had at Ademola Lookman. The intention was you have these 2 guys who are scoring goals as if going out of fashion in Europe. They are masked men, proper goal scorers. So when Osimhen is being marked out, Lookman should have be able to do the business. But I think the supplies weren't coming in enough. As you mentioned, when Moses Simon came, we saw those crosses coming in. When you're having someone like Kelechi Iheanacho, for instance, and maybe Alex Iwobi that could have been doing that, they couldn't do much of that. So the pressure now was on on Lookman to deliver, who couldn't deliver. And that's why when he also brought in Victor Boniface also, they were still on Osimhen. So I felt the coach's intention is, when you have other scorers, the focus should be the other scorers will be able to, get the ball and get the scoring when your main man has been marked out, which the other players are not doing. Yes, Osimhen has been marked out, but
maybe we'll start using him. If that's the strategy the opponent comes with, we can use him as a decoy.
Not really using him as a decoy. That's why I said that's why the other players need to. He's not the only goal scorer in the team. That's the thing. Moses Simon has scored. I think the Nantes has 14 goals this season. Moses Simon has scored 7 out of that goals that they. So we have players who could score. So if Osimhen is being marked out, what happened to other players on the field of play? That's where they need to come in, really.
Speaking of which, it seems like it's the same commentary of disappointment over Alex Iwobi's style of play. So what do we do with the likes of Alex Iwobi and Kelechi Iheanacho?
I think that's a hard one, because I feel maybe. Alex Iwobi, when you watch him at Fulham, and I'm watching him at Super Eagles, I'll be wondering, is it the same player? And sometimes you hear people say maybe the Alex is in Fulham, the Iwobi is with us, or the Iwobi is in Fulham, the Alex is with us. Some people also talked about Osimhen like that. So I don't know the proper fit. Maybe we can, maybe if he's playing directly behind a striker, maybe that would be a better one for him. But it's really a hard call, really. I think. Players do have their bad days, so they also have their good days. Alex Iwobi is a fantastic player. Same thing with Kelechi Iheanacho. And the fact that the coach made those changes, bringing some other players, shows that he has seen what they could do and what they couldn't do. And that's why he made those changes for other players to actually step in and do what they needed to do. And of course, to get the desired result. So you can't say you will bench them and not call them to the national team. It's one of those games that you're not just at your best, and then it happened against Benin Republic, and so Nigerians are really not happy about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to say, we still believe in you, Alex. Please bring the Alex and the Iwobi in the match on Monday. So, Cecilia, should we retain this formation for the next match?
I think yes, because if you check the starting lineup, I was shocked. I'm like, these are the men that are starting the game. Maybe what we can do, instead of starting Kelechi, we could start bringing Moses Simon. You know, since Moses Simon came on, and a lot of changes happened. So I think, but it was Gabriel Osho that was taken out. You know, the guy who made his debut from Auxerre, the Frenchman from Auxerre who made his debut for the Super Eagles. He was the one that was taken out. Moses Simon was brought in. But I do feel that if you can start with Moses Simon, and maybe we can have a player who can supply the balls to those two guys up front there. Yeah, that's what I think. And I also feel maybe give a time again for Victor Boniface to start the game. Maybe you can also bench Osimhen, because if you look at the game we're playing against Rwanda, there's really nothing at stake. So those other players haven't had time to play. Victor Collins, for instance, the home-based player who was brought in, can also fit in and see what he can deliver. Maybe you can also change the goalkeeper also, and then allow Maduka Okoye to also start. It's been a while. We haven't seen him, for a long time. So it's against Rwanda. We don't really need much. There's nothing in that game. We're just playing for pride and see how we can sign up in style, because already we're topping the group and everything.
But we must
sign up in style. How do you sign up in style? Bring it, because when you bring it, bring it. If you
we have qualified.
The thing is that if you bring in those complacency, we will. I know obviously know that. But what I'm saying is, if you allow those players that haven't gotten time to actually play and allow them to play games, I think they'll be hungry.
Guys,
it's just the hunger that we need. Have that hunger
we'll
and
keep
get
that argument for Monday. Cecilia Morogwe, our sports anchor and correspondent, joining us to break this down. Congratulations to the Super Eagles. We're heading out to that AFCON next year, and let's just go and do Saturday on Monday and see that. Okay, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you that very first conversation about elections, Beavers, Ondo, and everything in between. Join us again.